Welcome. I am here to tell you a true story about mass corruption happening in our county courts across the state of Indiana. I will show you clear proof that what I am telling you is true and that this corruption must be stopped. This is a true story about a corporation committing proven perjury in an Indiana courtroom and the judge who ignored it. This is a true story about legal fees being overcharged by a factor of 4 to 1, and payment of these overcharged fees demanded from thousands of Indiana citizens every year. And our own local judges are the ones approving and enforcing these overcharged fees. One company can submit 600 lawsuits per month using just a single lawyer and her 2 assistants. At this rate, this team of 3 is able to charge $2.7 million a year in legal fees. Yet the combined wages for this team is estimated to be under $180,000 per year. That's a 15 to 1 ratio, which is also nearly 4 times the amount calculated from their self-declared hourly rates. And the judges are approving and enforcing these ridiculously overpriced fees. This company justified their fees with an affidavit submitted to the courts as sworn testimony. This affidavit claims that they spend 3.5 hours per case, with most of that work done by the 2 legal assistants. But this affidavit violates 5th grade math by a factor of 4 to 1. Their proven ability to file 600 lawsuits per month proves that their 3.5-hour claim is perjury by a factor of 4 to 1. If they really spent 3.5 hours per lawsuit, it would have taken them 4 months to prepare these 600 suits, all of which were done in the single month of June. This is a 4 to 1 discrepancy. It's easy math. Their sworn 3.5-hour claim is perjury. It is important to note that this affidavit claims that the 3.5 hours of work was all done prior to the filing of each lawsuit. These charges do not include any time spent after the filing of each lawsuit, which means prosecution time is not included here. This is done on purpose because when citizens call to settle their debts prior to the court date, no legal fee discounts are granted. They are declared non-negotiable. Here we have the work breakdown provided by the affidavit, claiming an average of 3.5 hours of work done prior to the filing of each lawsuit. As has been shown by simple 5th grade math, this 3.5-hour claim is impossibly overestimated. It is blatant perjury by a factor of 4 to 1. Now let's look at a 3-month view. Here we see from public record this company filed 1,700 lawsuits in a 3-month period, which averages to almost 600 lawsuits per month for 3 consecutive months. This demonstrates the company's ability to repeat this process month after month. For these 3 months, this company has overcharged its legal fees by a factor of 4 to 1. It is important to note that this calculation assumes 100% utilization of the 3 team members and ignores all inefficiencies, time off, and other distractions. It also ignores a very significant known distraction. For these 3 months, for this company, public record indicates 27 separate batches of court actions across the state. Each batch of court actions requires significant attention from this legal team, often requiring significant travel time. That's 27 separate court dates squeezed into 65 workdays. Our 4 to 1 overcharge estimate ignores the time spent on handling these court dates as well as all other distractions and inefficiencies which may have impacted this team. That's what makes our 4 to 1 estimate conservative and safe. Most likely, the actual overcharge ratio is even higher than 4 to 1. Over these 3 months, this company claimed to have spent approximately 6,000 hours on preparations alone, which would have taken this team an entire year to accomplish. This 3-month view confirms that this company's 3.5-hour claim is perjury by a factor of 4 to 1. As additional proof, evidence was submitted to the judge showing that another local collector really does only charge $100 in legal fees per lawsuit. And the judge was already aware of this evidence because this judge also presides over these $100 cases. This comparative proof further proves that the $375 fee is overcharged by a factor of about 4 to 1. Yet this judge ignored proven perjury. Instead, he made an unfair ruling against 400 citizens, forcing them all to pay these grossly overcharged legal fees. One citizen decided to take a stand on behalf of the hundreds of other citizens who were also being abused by this collector. He spent many days and nights on this campaign doing research, and started forming a coalition to inform the other citizens about the big picture and of the tactics used by the overcharging company. But the judge immediately silenced this citizen by erroneously accusing him of practicing law without a license. Then the judge dispensed a restraining order to prohibit this citizen from speaking with the other citizens at the courthouse prior to their meeting with the opposing counsel, leaving these other citizens grossly uninformed and vulnerable to intimidation and abuse. Meanwhile, the judge continued to facilitate private, unsupervised meetings between these uninformed citizens and the opposing counsel. It often appears to these citizens that the opposing counsel are officials of the courthouse and are to be obeyed and trusted. This whole picture is absurd and is offensive to the citizens of Indiana. What has been happening here needs to be stopped, and restitutions should be made for the thousands of overcharges which have already occurred. It's time for us to turn on the lights and expose the truth so that everyone can see what has been going on here. Please be sure to watch this entire video series before solidifying your own conclusions. If you are in a position of authority, please conduct your own supplemental research to validate your conclusions before taking authoritative action. The other videos in this series will be posted in the Facebook group called Hoosiers Against Unfair Debt Collections. Please join us here on Facebook or send email to this address. Before ending this video, I'd like to announce the following disclaimers. I, Brian Knox, am not a lawyer. The conclusions presented here are personal, based on information I have compiled from personal and public information sources. I have invested over 200 hours of my time into the research and presenting of this information. The information and conclusions that I am presenting here are truthful to the best of my ability, although some degree of error is likely. Accusations of crime and misconduct that I have made in this video are personal opinion based on the evidence that I have compiled. The accusations of perjury have not yet been prosecuted. My implication of judicial misconduct has not yet been investigated. Court officials and those with governmental power may end up not agreeing with the conclusions that I have made in this video. Thank you for your kind attention. I hope you found this video informative and inspiring. If you'd like to show your support, please be sure to like this video. And I invite you to join us on our Facebook group called Hoosiers Against Unfair Debt Collections. I hope to see you there.